All right, good morning, guys. This is mostly for Dave Adams. Here, and he's the closest one to retirement than all of us. I mean, I think he's really retired. He's just doing it. I don't know. He says it's for the money, but I don't know. I think he just enjoys doing it.
I do.
It is.
And money.
Because it ain't easy, but it definitely ain't like the hard stuff we used to do. Big Dave.
Hey, that's better.
Adam's in the house.
Yeah. Hey, man, look at this. I think it's like 200 and some pages of that was the whole PBD business planning workshop. We were here all day long, and it's worth the investment. For these guys, the ones, my daughter and her partners taking over the business. We're hoping to go to Vegas. Now that I'm moving so damn quick, I don't think that's going to happen. But and this was really good for them because you just got to expand their mind of what's possible. And that's why I got into writing this whole. He talked about, what we all, should be talking about is and it made him go over the whole why, like emotional creates exponential growth. The vision, culture, dreams, mission, the will, the enemy, the capital, raising money, because you need money to build a business. Anybody who says you don't is just, stupid. Team, systems, plan, skill, competition. But he told a lot of stories. And it was live. There was a lot of people in the audience, telling their stories. And that's what made me write this whole 5-year growth man. Crazy happy with it. I know Doug has his. I don't even know if he's went through it.
Yeah, I definitely read it. I got to print it out.
Yeah. But it's like losing weight. It's like a relation. It's anything in fucking life, man. And doing shit with this Dr. Boz lady. Adam starts everything in his coaching programs is if you don't have a reason to do it, then stop. Don't even attempt it because you won't do it. So that's, the whole writing the business plan is you can't just have the business plan because if there's no emotion behind it, you're not going to do it. You don't want to do it. That's that whole theory of if you get a job or if you're doing something that you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life, which if you have to do it to pay the bills, you stop loving it real quick. And for me, it was the family and all the other money is good. It's what else would he be doing? I mean, it keeps him busy, which is good. And it's emotionally, it's a phenomenal feeling at the end of every one of his clean and wax jobs to hear the homeowners, tell him how great he is. Besides us getting on here and telling him, he gets to hear them. So all of that. but it's man, running a business, and I want to start it. And now that I'm moving and not spending so much time hidden in the woods, and then having to deal with my daughter's business, I'll have a little bit more free time. I want to work with real business owners, business minded. It's like this creating a job for yourself. Man, I don't want to say it's bad, because it's better than working at McDonald's. It's just frustrating as hell, because in your head, you realize, shit, it's easier to go work for somebody. Doug, have you found that to be true?
Oh yeah, I'm still exploring options. I mean, I get offers, a couple offers a year about coming to working for somebody, and I'm like, yeah, I still fucking own a job, so it definitely crosses my mind. But you back yourself into a corner. Like, you're not gonna make the money you make on your own anywhere.
No,
So
in a short amount of time.
yeah, so
And you're not going to have the freedom that you have now.
the freedom, exactly. That's what it is the freedom.
It's the freedom to do whatever you want in your life. For me, it was great. I was able to take the kids to school, pick them up every day, go off and do my work. And if I had to call somebody, I could, but it was just great to be able to do what I wanted when I wanted. And it still is.
JB said he's trying to get on. Let me tell you. We're here waiting on you. Yeah, and I don't know. It's like a lot of guys end up going and getting jobs as reps for different products or different, equipment.
And that takes away your freedom completely.
It does.
They're always on the road somewhere.
Answering questions 24/7.
Yeah. And I don't know, when I look at it, I look at it almost as a cop out, because it's just, I'm like, oh, okay, so you couldn't physically do the work, so you want to go try to make work. After you get used to it, it's physically it's not as bad as most people think it is.
That Wi-Fi, I don't know if it's just me, but that Wi-Fi on the ranch is horrible. You keep going in and out.
It is, man. It's like, and I got it plugged in.
There you go again. Excuse me.
I don't know. So I wanted to go over the whole building, the business plan that PBD, but shit, that was like that was 12 hours with a 1 hour lunch break. But it really, I mean, one of the biggest things that my favorite part was
Brian, you know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
I'm sorry, real quick. It reminds me of the movie Forrest Gump, when he's about to tell what really goes on in Vietnam, and then they unplugged. And because you were like my favorite part, and then it just went out. I'm like, oh shit.
All of you guys spinning. Let me check to see.
See, now we don't know what he's going to check.
Looking down here. Before the meeting that we did, I was telling, my daughter and her partners. Am I still coming in and out? I wonder if I just disconnect.
We can hear your voice now, but your screen is frozen.
Yeah, because on me it isn't. Let's see.
Guys, we're going to enjoy this so much more on the replay.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Now you're still frozen. There it goes.
I'm just going to disconnect it. See if that's any better. Nope.
So we've got you now.
Let me see. Let me see if I can do a hotspot with my phone and see if that even helps. Is it working now?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Seems to be.
When it messes up, I'll switch over to my hotspot. So before the meeting with PBD was, man, I told my daughter and her partners everything that's possible, and in my head, for them, everything is possible. Like you can shoot for the moon, miss it, hit the stars, all that shit. To where when I was like, I didn't even think, for my retarded, ass that quit school at 16, I was just happy that someone was going to teach me a trade where I could make a living more than just minimum wage. So that was the limit of my thinking. And I was telling them, I was like, I said, man, what do you guys want to do? I said, you're starting, 40 years in advance from where you've got everything that I knew, that took me 40 years to learn. That's your starting line. So you get to just, whatever it is, you can really achieve it. I said, watch Tommy Mello, all of that. It's like, to where it took me so many years just doing the trade to where, finally getting fed up doing a couple of side jobs and then thinking like everybody else, I can do my own business, not having a clue what the fuck even a business is, getting the contractor's license. Now you got the contractor's license and you bought a used piece of equipment and now you're like, okay, where's the work? All right, man, I'm in, and then you end up back begging the guys for a job because you need to pay bills and you didn't have no work and you don't know anything about. So then I went through all of that friggin' cycle and paid the money, went to the seminars, got the books, all that shit, learned a little bit about business and then marketing, and it's all marketing. But even then, once you got the business and the phone's ringing, you got to know how to answer them. And so you got to learn the business and the hiring. Man, so it took me 40 years to figure that shit out. So that's what I was telling them. I was like, man, so it's you guys aren't spending that 40 years figuring it out. That's done. You're at the starting gate now with everything that you need. What do you want? And I said, man, because you can do this, like you can add the long term with every project. You can do, the long term maintenance, turn every client into something, a monthly type fee, twice a year type fee, once a year fee, like Charlie does. You can have locations, you can have the showrooms. You don't have to limit yourself to just refinishing or installing hardwood floors. You can hire, now that you know business, you can hire out, you can get jobs for tile and carpet and sub it out. And so all of it. And it's kind of in that business manual. But so I was like, look here, it's like the spokes on a wheel. And PBD does a great job of it. He shows Disney, like what Disney, how they knew they were going to make money. Here's Mickey Mouse, here's the cartoon, and we can do one or two things. And then like 5 years later, it had branched off to like 10 things. And now it's like they own everything, all the Disney World, Disneylands, all the movies, Star Wars. It's just, from that little spoke on the wheel, they own everything. And then he went through his whole business map of doing the podcast, and now the business consulting. They've got this, the shoes, the hats, the gear. They're doing the seminars. They're doing he shows all the different branches of how you can make money. So you've got your core. So when he had brought that up, was probably one of my favorite, because I had just talked about it 2 weeks earlier and said, man, what do you guys want to do? It's game on. The only one putting a limit on yourself is you. And you guys are not as old as me and Charlie, but you're still there. It's but you still have the same option. And I know with Doug, maybe his daughter is going to take over the business also. I'm not sure what Andrew's doing, but you've got to look at what you do is you've got to have a certain amount of money coming in all the time to be comfortable. And then after that, how can you grow the business? How can you grow the business? That's what I love about Tommy Mello and his whole garage thing is he's always, how can we add on? They're doing remotes, they're doing cameras, they're doing all kind of stuff. Now they're doing shelving and stuff inside the garage. But you've got to think, and at the same time, you really can't start. And that's where I wish JB was on here because he'll watch this later. But that's where JB kind of fucked up. And a lot of guys kind of fuck up. They start doing okay in one area and then branch out. I'm like, no. Hang on now. Hang on. You got to master this one area so that it's running it, because that money has to keep coming in to fund these other little projects that you want to do. Does that make sense to you guys?
Absolutely.
When you jump out too soon and start doing these other areas and you're not paying attention to where what brings all the money in, the money dries up and you're trying to do these other areas and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I got to still pay bills and I need money for market. Because again, it comes down to money. You need the money. And so now he's kind of back on track and focusing on one thing, making the money, getting that, really good. And then, kind of branching out. Me and Ryan was because me and Ryan talk quite a bit because he's in my elite business program. And right now he's finally doing where every penny goes. Every penny comes in, every penny goes out. And I was like, dude, better late than never. I've been bugging you 5 years to do this. And he's finally, doing it. And that daily activity sheet helps. And he's using that. If you're subbing out, that's a different thing, but you've got to track the pennies. And he's doing his overhead, per job. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the overhead? And then he starts telling me, I said, well, I know what the overhead is. And so, because and you guys know what the overhead is. It's, like, I don't think Doug has a lot of overhead. Charlie doesn't have probably any overhead.
Zero.
Both of you guys work out of the garage, correct?
The van, yes.
Yeah. Most of the overhead. What's up, Big JB? We ain't seen your ass in forever.
Stranger danger right there.
Yeah, man. Although I will see you next month. I'm going to stop in Pensacola and spend the night, maybe 2 on my way to South Carolina. So
That's cool.
me and you'll go out and have some dinner or something. But yeah, so for most businesses, most hardwood floor guys, maybe even painters, if you're working out of the garage, the biggest overhead is going to be your rent for your showroom and your shop. And then it's the utilities, it's your office manager lady. Those are going to be the big ticket items for your overhead. Some guys are going to want to lump their marketing expenses into the overhead, and you can. I like to keep it separate because I like the marketing money to fluctuate. Some months I'm going to spend more, some months I'm going to spend less. I like to kind of, and that's what I was going over with Ryan, and he's like, slow down, bitch. One thing at a time. Let me get this. Let me count all the pennies first, because I was like, I want every project to have the marketing or the lead. What did this project cost us to get the job? Meaning, so if you're doing Google Ads, it may take 25 clicks to get a phone call. Each click may be $3 a click. So you add that up. But that's just the phone call. It may take 5 phone calls to get an appointment. But you may need 3 appointments to get a job. So you got to add all of that up and then say, okay, so for this one job, it took us $375 or $670, like roofing and HVAC. Those jobs are costing them dudes like $3,000 but they got a huge high margin, profit margin, so they don't care. But you've got to know those numbers, man. You've got to know those numbers. You've got to know the lifetime value of a client, and they have. David, what's the acronym for that?
What, the lifetime value of a customer?
Yeah, they have an acronym for it. And in construction, we don't pay a lot of attention to it because we're almost like one and done. It's like, how many times do you refinish someone's hardwood floor? How many times do you install a hardwood floor in someone's house? How many times do you paint the inside or the outside? It may be like painting is probably more every, what is it, JB, every 5 to 7, 9, 11 years?
Yeah, it depends on whether if it's interior, exterior, life of the product, all that kind of good stuff. But 5 to 7 is your basic timeline.
Yeah, and for hardwood flooring, you should be every 5 to 7 years. You should be going back doing a screen and coat anyway. Right,
Bullshit. You should be going back every year or so and cleaning or polishing those
cleaning
floors.
it. See,
Residual income.
Exactly. 100%. And that's the whole thing is most contractors in all trades don't think of it like that. Now that the internet's kind of working, let me.
So Brian, your LCV is what you're talking about.
Is that what LCV? Yeah, lifetime
Customer value.
Yeah, customer value. Which is going to make a lot more sense when I share this screen. You guys see that? Only Wood Floors 5-year growth manual.
Yes, sir.
I love that look. I love the new logo. They don't like it as much, but I'm like, kiss my ass. What do we do? Why we do it? And I ain't got time. I wish I had. We should do a month, 2 months of this thing. How it should be used. You guys kind of read through it a little bit here and there. It's a long term. So this came about. This manual exists to ensure we have both long term growth. The 5 growth pillars: trust, relationships, visibility, consistency, quality. You guys reading any of this? Relationships. So right here, you see this? Homeowners, builders, interior designers, realtors, generators. So in this manual somewhere, it's like, because there's a, this is everything. So now you should see me, right?
Yes.
So this whole thing came about because when we were sitting there with PBD, we're filling out everything, you know, the whole growth business plan, what they want to do this year, the next couple of years, how they can branch off, open up more locations, you know, do the showroom, do the everything. And again, in here, you'll see there's a part where it says we don't, and that's why that was the 5-year. I was like, all the other stuff that I want you guys to do or that you want to do it. I'm not saying, and no doesn't mean no. Delaying it doesn't mean no. I'm just saying, look, let's spend 5 years for you guys to go through this manual and get everything rock solid so that when you start venturing off doing other things, the money is still flowing in on the hardwood floor part, installation, repairs, all of that. You get the showroom. Now you're selling the floor, you're selling the carpet, you're selling the tile, you're subbing out that part of the work to other contractors. You can hire a dude that knows tile inside and out. One of those guys that we made fun of earlier that doesn't want to do it anymore, but wants to get paid. But if he knows it, you know, he can come in, set up appointments in the showroom. He can sub it out to guys that he knows. He can oversee it. And he can get a percentage, even if you split it with him 50-50, he's making a really nice chunk of change. I like the 40-60, but whatever it ends up being, but that's still 50% of money you wouldn't have been getting anyway because you didn't do that part of all flooring. That's why I wanted to take these guys to Vegas at the end of this month because it's called surfaces. It's all surfaces. But the biggest thing is like what they have to do daily. You have to check off the box. You've got to do all the stuff. But you guys have heard me over and over and over again. When people cry to me about not having work, okay, I say, how many network events did you go to last month? How many events did you go to last week? None. The answer is always none. So I'm like, kiss my ass. I don't know what to do. Because again, I can't do your push-ups for you, but that lifetime value of a client, yes, you may paint the lady's house. You may do the roof one time every 20 years for the roof, whatever it is. we can somehow find ways to make money with that homeowner. Like Charlie just said, if you're in the carpet business, if you're in the flooring business, no matter what flooring you put in, you can you can do a 6-month and yearly maintenance. So you can get money from that person forever for the next, once a year. But what I've told you guys over and over and over again is relationship, because it's how many contractors use you, how many interior designers, how many decorators, how many real estate agents, how many insurance adjusters. And they're all on that list that we were just looking at, because now that truly is the lifetime value of a client for you. And it's hard to get good contractors. It's me and Doug talk about it all the time. You got to go through 20, 30 contractors to get one good one, because most of them are dumbasses and they want to use your money to run their business. They screw up the schedule. They don't know what they're doing. But if you can get 10 great contractors, 10 great interior designers, 10 great decorators, 10 great insurance adjusters, 10 great real estate agents, 10 great whatever it is, now you've got a freaking 50, 60, 70 people funneling you work all the time. You don't have to spend the thousands of dollars. You still want to spend it, but you don't have to spend the thousands of dollars on Google ads, Google leads, LSA, local service ads, any of the other stuff, because those guys will have you so busy, you get to pick and choose. And that's how you grow, because now you've got different divisions in the company. That money is consistently coming in. You can have a platform to where you can bring in high school students, train them on how to do it. I sent Doug the video for sure. I don't know if I sent you guys the video or not. I watched this podcast called The Diary of a CEO. Good looking black dude from England named Steven. And he sits there on the table, and he's got the cool, and like Andrew, he's got that cool freaking European
accent.
Yeah, man. So it's like, oh shit, But the way he interviews people, he's just real calm and mellow, and gets to the heart of everything. That's how I met that Dr. Boz lady, was through his thing. But he just did one with Anthony Robbins, and it's a different perspective. It's a different interview that I've seen Anthony Robbins do, maybe ever. And I've been following Anthony Robbins for 40 years. So,
you can look that guy up on Stan Store. He's got some free information packets. He's got a lot of things that he sells on Stan Store.
yeah.
But he also has a couple of little free options that you can look into and learn from him.
The black dude?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Because he interviews doctors. He interviews a lot of people.
Yeah. Everybody.
Yep.
And hey, Doug, I sent you that link, right? And said, don't
Yes,
watch
sir.
it.
Yep.
It's a great interview.
Yeah, I've been watching Steve for a while now. Like,
Yeah.
he interviews a lot of interesting folks.
Yeah. And he does it in a cool way. So good on him.
Yeah, he asked the right questions. Like, he asked some good questions.
Yeah. So the first, probably the first 15 minutes of the interview with Anthony, the whole thing is about AI, and me and Doug go back and forth with AI all the time. That's why I send him the text going, "Don't watch this," of how many people are going to be out of work, and it's true. I mean, and nothing's good, but it's always been like that throughout history. But I was telling my daughter and her partners, I was like, man, she goes, what do you think it's going to do to us, construction? I said, someone's going to always need what we do when we're in construction. I said, what may end up happening, and you're in all these different Facebook groups, everybody cries about, oh man, the illegals are coming in and somebody's doing it for 50 cents. How could I charge $5? You're going to always get that. There may end up being more of that, because when there's 80,000 truck drivers and Uber drivers out of work, they may go and venture out towards construction. I don't know. Construction is different only because if you're doing the labor part, it's physical, and a lot of people don't want to do the physical. I ain't talking shit on truck drivers or Uber drivers or taxi drivers, but it's easier. Plain and simple. It's easier to work at McDonald's. construction guys, you know, I've been up at 4 a.m. for fucking 50 years now. You know, I guess in the Army, like JB, you're up at that time anyway. But in construction, we're up at 4 o'clock because you got to beat the fucking traffic in LA. And you get to wherever you're going, and then you have your coffee and whatever else and get the day started. And then sit in traffic in the afternoon. It's like, you know, you're going to be stuck in traffic going home. You don't want to do it both ways. You try leaving at 6 o'clock around here, you get to work at 9. And then you're so damn mad you don't want to do anything. And then it's physical. And then you got to deal with the homeowners, and that's a whole different monkey. Crazy.
Brian, I just sent you Stephen Bartlett's store link.
Okay, perfect. Brother, I see the link. So I don't know if all these people that get pushed out of work, their last resort is probably going to be construction. Definitely, nobody wants to do no effing hot roofs in Phoenix, Arizona. Nobody wants to do the road work. Man, when I drive past those dudes doing the asphalt, no matter where it is, here in California, definitely like freaking Louisiana, the South with the humidity. It's shit, man. That's hard work. And we're working. So construction is different. There'll be some of them that bleed over into construction, but not like other industries. But I told my daughter, I said, you need to position yourself with all these relationships that I just talked about. You've got to be so busy that now you've got 100 guys that are looking for work to where there used to be nobody looking for work. And you want to be able to pick and choose the best of the best. And we've got all the videos on how to hire and train, and we're always looking for attitude. We're never looking for the skill. We're always looking for the attitude. And if you've got your systems in place, you know, all the manuals, your employee handbook, all of that stuff, how to train them, what you expect out of them, it just makes it a lot easier. You hire that dude, you got a 30-day window, see if she does what they're supposed to do. But so many of us hire people and go, all right, man, show up. Here's the address. Show up at 7. And then they show up, and then they're walking around. They don't have a fucking clue what to do. And you're wondering why he ain't emptying out the van. It's like, damn, he just standing around. It's like, and I say that only because I've done it. I mean, over and over again. It's like, you've got to be extremely specific. Here's what we do: 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30, 8:15. When you're not doing this, we're going to run over there and do that. And when you've got it step by step by time zones, they're not going to do it, but at least they kind of know what's expected of them. And you should have had that meeting with them way before their first week. You got to have the interview process, all of that stuff. You can bring them in. If you don't have the shop, bring them into your garage. If you don't have the garage, bring them into your van. Go through all the tools in the van way before they even start. All of that, it's in the systems. So you got to have the systems, but you got to have the work to get the systems. What good are the systems if you don't have the fucking work? So you got to have the work. And in the beginning, it takes the money. It takes everything that are in all the videos. But this manual thing that I put together is so doing the PBD thing. And now that I'm moving, I'm like, shit. Because a couple of them started calling out each other. Like, well, hey, man, like, because it's my daughter and 2 other guys that are taking over the business. So they're like partners. And I brought it up, is like, everybody needs to pull their weight. If you start growing the business expeditionally and one person's not pulling their weight, they shouldn't benefit from it. So I'm like, yeah. So we need a checklist. So every day you need to be checking off, did you do what you're supposed to do? At the end of the week, we need another checklist going, hey, this week, did you do what you're supposed to be doing? And now we're implementing starting Monday, no matter where we're at in the world, at 4 in the evening, you stop what you're doing, you click the link, and we're going to have a 15-minute get together on probably StreamYard or Zoom, but it'll be streaming. So everybody checks in. And I said, look, until you guys have the showroom, and even then, you don't want to go back to the office sometime. If you're out on job sites, in the real world, everybody wants to meet back at the office at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and you have a 30-minute debriefing. What got done today, what didn't get done, what went wrong, how did we fix this, where we're at on this project, on this. You got you got your board up, everybody's looking at it. What's going on tomorrow? Do we need to follow up with this? And if you do it at 5 o'clock, you may be out of time to fix some stuff. If you do it at 3 or 4, you still have time to call some supply houses that close at 5. So that's why we're shooting for the 3 or 4. But that way everybody is, so there's, you check in, you turn yourself in every afternoon at 3 o'clock. It's only a little 15-minute thing. What's going on? What got done today? What's going on tomorrow? What do we need to do? Everybody's on the same page. And you check off your little checklist. Here's the monthly checklist. There's the weekly. End of the week. Yeah, right here. So it's right there. I'm gonna pull it up so we can see it, but it's you got to check it out. But building those relationships are key. And then so I'm still trying to explain why I wrote the whole fucking 5-year growth thing, because I want them to venture out and do everything. But I thought, man, so they needed the checklist. So we're doing the checklist. Here's what needs to be done, blah, blah, blah. So then I thought, well, shit. I sat down and I went, man, if I was, because I told you earlier, is I'm excited for them because they have 40 years of my knowledge. They don't have to go through all the BS that I went through because I didn't know anything about business. So I said, man, if I knew right now, if I was 25 right now, and I knew everything that I know right now, which, that's the agony of getting old. You're like, God damn it, I figured it out. Let me start over. You can't. It's like shit. So I said, well, what would I do if I knew everything that I know right now? If I was 25 again and starting out, what would I do? So then I start typing it all out. Man, I do this every day. I do this, I do that, boom. And now with the internet, the YouTube, the videos, all of that shit, everything that you see in all my other videos. So I just start typing it all out, boom, boom, boom. I was like, man. And then I thought I was finished. And I was like, God damn, this is great. And then I went back and I looked at it and I was like, fuck, these little fuckers. It's like, man, it ain't good enough for them. Because it's one thing to tell them what to do. Like, you got to do this video, you got to do this, you got to meet with this contractor, you got to meet with this person, you got to do. So I had all of the what you should do. But then I said, no, that's not good enough. So I went back in and that's why it ended up being like 70 pages. Because I didn't want to just tell them what they need to do when they need to do it. I wanted to go in and explain it, at least 1 or 2 paragraphs of why we're doing it. Because that's how I train. Even when I'm teaching martial arts, it's like we're doing techniques. It's one thing to just teach the technique. But you got to explain why we're doing it. And that's the whole, even when you're teaching people with hardwood flooring, when I'm teaching them how to sand and stuff, it's not just good enough to say you hit it with this grade of paper, that grade of paper, you do this in this sequence and all. It's when they understand the why, they grasp it better. Does that make sense to you? It's like, why are you doing it? So I went back in and I said, we need to do this, and this, but here's why we need to do it. Because I want them to get it, man. The synopsis in the brain, I want them to understand it so that there's a better chance that they'll do it. Let me see.
That's when they say, here, Brian, take my money.
So let's see, where's it at? Share. So then when I got it kind of finished, it made a lot more sense because this is like, I'll go through a little bit. So we grow through people, not transitions. So it's relationships. You need to build all these relationships with all of these guys. Why it matters, the visibility. We need to be everywhere at all times. Consistency is the key to everything. And then we get into quality. That's number 5, the bottom line. Final rule of section. 5-year focus, what we're doing. I'm going fast, but you guys can kind of read this as I'm screwing. So what we intentionally, or what we're not doing, and you see that right now where it says for now. because until the foundation of this business is fully solidified, we are not pursuing these other things, the showrooms, the carpet, the tile, all of that stuff. Growth is, and for all the reasons that we just talked about. And these aren't bad ideas. They're just simply not right. They're not the right ideas right now. JB understands this better than everybody. While we're delaying the expansion and the strategic decision, this is why all of that stuff is because man, once they and they already kind of dominate because of all the content that we have online. I just want it to be stronger and better. Focused growth builds a reputation faster, creates clear message, strengths, bottom line. Focus now creates freedom later. Focus now creates the freedom later. That's all we talked about earlier was freedom. How we handle new ideas and opportunities, because even in, we want to have these 15 minutes every day just to check in, see what's going on. But we want to have like end of the week meetings and then a really long monthly meeting. And that's where you strategize and what are we doing? The new ideas, they're not rejected, they're just parked. Does it strengthen one of our 5 growth pillars? Does it support the refinishing authorities? And you can customize this for where you want to be in the next 5 years. The daily growth, monthly growth does not count. And this, man, I just can't I can't do your push-ups. I mean, every day, you have to do, and people say 6 days a week. And I don't know, maybe 6 days a week. Why not 7? But growth does not come from ideas. It comes from your daily, repeated, consistent, overtime actions. The section outlines the non-negotiable actions that are required to build the trust, authority, and long-term stability. And part of their daily activities is reading this fucking manual every day over and over again, because you got to remind yourself over and over again. Non-negotiables, upload the videos, project walkthrough, blah, blah, blah. You guys can see it. Cost and process explanations, short personal updates, why this matters, blah, 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 bottom line, personal content from each owner. It's not good enough for people to see my videos all the time. My daughter's doing more. The partners are doing more. They need to be the face. It can't be me all the time. Why this matters. Homeowners invite us into the house. Daily social visibility, minimum 3 times per week. What we do, post constantly, TikTok, and I think no one has taken this information from me and used it better than Charlie Engel. It's true,
For real. Hey, that's
and Charlie would tell all of you guys he thought it was BS, and now he's like, fuck, I don't know. He does it more than me. He does it more than anybody.
I did it the hard way though. I had to watch every friggin' one of your videos.
But now
some of them 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, now you're the king. And Andrew has in the last 6 months, Andrew has scaled it up. Andrew, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, that was that goes back to one of our first meetings, and yeah, I wrote it down. I've wrote it down again today. 1 video per day minimum. I don't always hit that quota, but I'm doing my best. I'm doing walkthroughs. I'm doing customer testimonials. I'm getting before and after pictures. I'm getting pictures of customers who are happy with the job. Testimonials. So yeah, I'm really focused on it. And I could do more, but the last 6 months since obviously engaging with you guys, I'm really hitting it hard.
Yeah, no, because I see it. And then we've got our daily relationship outreach, and we got a 5 to 10 touch points per owner. David, are you there?
Yeah.
Because we're in the business world. So when I tell someone, hey man, you got to do your 5 or 7 touch points. Other business owners know what I mean. You know what I mean, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit, brother.
So you and I both know that if we've decided what we want our relationships to look like, what we want them to feel like, what emotions do we want them to feel. So it's, hey, you pick up the phone. And if we can make it natural as possible,
Yeah.
Right. So when I reach out to Brian once in a while, I'm reaching out to Brian because I'm like, hey, I was going through this thing and it reminded me of you. So I send it to him. I'm like, this is why I'm reaching out. I just want to let you know I'm thinking about you. Here you go. And this goes back to business relationships, personal relationships, whether it's somebody you went to high school with 900 years ago, Brian. The rest of us are a little bit younger than you, but it's all right. But it's even reaching out to those guys with a simple, hey, you know what? I saw this thing. I watched this video, and it just reminded me of that time that you and I did this, right? Shoot, I was looking at our pictures yesterday from the last time we went down the freaking dam, whatever river that is. Colorado River. Yeah, man. I was looking at that. I didn't reach out because I was going to see you today, but just anything that's natural. And then, of course, if it's a business person that we are actually doing business with and we want them to refer people to us, well, that's different. It's like, when are the birthdays? When are the major holidays? When am I sending them a book just because, hey, you know what? This was awesome. I think you'd learn something from this. So it's how are we uniquely staying in contact with them? If we go back to 7-11-4, which is 7 hours of consumed content to build trust, 11 touch points, which is now about 16 to 20 touch points from 4 separate locations. Well, where are these people that we want to give us referrals? Well, where are their touch points with us?
Yeah.
How many times are we reaching out to them in a unique way? There's a book I read many years ago, and it was Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty by Harvey McKay.
Yes.
Harvey McKay's dad, right? The most well-networked person on the planet. Within 5 phone calls could get anything done anywhere in the world because he found a unique way to stay in contact with them, to network with them.
It's the realtors, through the realtors. I'm gonna put
Yeah, I mean, that's it, right? So how do we stay in contact with them? How do we reach out to them? If you look at I coach a orthodontist office. Those guys, they reach out with everything. They're sending cookies. They're sending platters. They're sending them to dinner. They're taking care of this office staff of the other dentist offices that they want to refer them to, right? So it's all those kinds of things.
It is. Because when I was writing it down, I touched and I had typed in touch points, and then I kind of chuckled. I was like, shit, my daughter and her partners ain't going to know what touch points are. I said, most construction people don't, but you've got to stay in touch with your, and again, God, imagine having 50 to 100, real estate agent, contractors, all of those people working for you. If you read the book, The Greatest Salesman in the World, maybe, what is it? God, I thought, Dave, you may remember it. It's the guy who used to sell cars. I can't think of his name, but he literally was the number 1 salesperson in the world, I guess, and definitely United States, because of how many cars that he could sell in a year. And he wrote a book that was pretty simple to read. But his whole thing was he had bird dogs. Everybody was sending people to him to buy cars because he had, and he had a whole system for how they referred and how they got a little bit of something, whether it was dinner or something. But you talk about touch points. He was staying in touch with 1,000 people, every week.
That's my real estate agents. Real estate agents will send, especially if you're in the trade business, like the wood floors or painting or even cabinetry. These agents are the first ones in these homes when people want to list them, and the agents want those homes to look as good as they can.
Yeah.
And sometimes they want an old house to look new so that they can sell it faster. So I can't tell you how many agents me work over the course of a month.
Yeah. And it's, and then you're going to be busier, so you can, raise your prices, and the contractor and the decorator and all of these people who are working for you, they're going to say, hey, Charlie, I got the perfect person for you. Trust me, you can probably find someone, cheaper. But man, I've been working with this dude 10 years, 5 years, 12, 15 years. I mean, this guy, he's solid. When he says he's going to be there, he's there. When he finishes, he's finished. And you're like, well, shit, I don't, I'll pay extra for that. That kind. And I was able back in December to sit down with these guys, and I told them, I said, look at the last God, I don't know what it was. I don't want to say 10 jobs, or some of our last biggest jobs. We did a huge job up in Altadena, Pasadena area. That was from a contractor. Did a beautiful home down on Balboa Island in Newport Beach. That was a contractor that we worked for. We just did this big fancy hotel in Palm Springs. That was another contractor. Found us on Google. First job we've ever done for him. They're a contracting company out of Dallas, Texas. The project manager lives in Tennessee. And I said, hey, we're going to do whatever it takes. These people, when y'all finish, these people are going to be happy. Because shit, they can get you jobs all over the world, and they're willing to, definitely United States, and they're willing to pay. They're going to pay for all the travel. They're going to, a shitload of money. That one, we just did another job over on Catalina Island, which they always fucking love. To me, it's a pain in the ass, but it's a free little vacation. That was a contractor. Shit, I was like, so we went through all of the, another one was an interior designer lady. And I was like, look, I said, and that's just a handful of, that's like 5 or 6 contractors and a decorator. I said, now imagine having 50 of those, and so they kind of get it, but it's up to them to do the work. I'll go through a little bit more of this this manual thing that I kind of put together.
Hey, David.
Yeah.
When you were explaining everything, you basically laid out Bob Donnell's playbook one by one.
God bless his rest his soul.
That's right.
Well,
Man, nobody can make a connection like that dude.
Yep.
It just, man, because he genuinely talked to people and asked about them and made it a priority. All his questions were about them. Never did he bring up himself, hardly ever. But he did stay in touch with people also.
Who was that? Sorry, who's that name?
Buddy of mine that passed away a year ago now.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, but he was a great, business guy, networker, just all around a good guy. But he did a whole thing on teaching people how to network. Just phenomenal.
Connectology.
Yep, connectology. Look at JB, man. Good for you, brother.
That's right. I remember, brother. I remember.
JB been taking notes.
Yeah, because it took forever for me to. I bugged him and said, "Bob, can't you get another name? It's hard for me to say connectology." And he's like, "You got to work it out, man. You got to work it out, Brian." Yeah. So the weekly actions, networking, minimum 2 events per week. Man, you've got to get to these meetings. Create your own meeting. Meetups.com. I think that's still around. I don't use it that much anymore. It used to be big. And none of these I go to looking for work. I go to these to build relationships. Mm-hmm. I want to see how many people here I can become friends with and send them work. And by it just by natural occurrence of how the world works, the law of reciprocal, whatever it is, they will, refer me. But I never go there looking for work. Never, ever, ever. Face-to-face builds the trust. Consistency builds the reconnection. All of this. Bottom line, we win being present when others stop showing up. All of that. Blog, Google, all of this stuff. You guys hear me? 1 a week. You just got to, if they just do half of this, and they need to do all of it, they're going to explode. There's no way you can't. There's just no way you can't. If Andrew keeps doing the videos that he's doing, by the end of this year, because this is 2026, he'll have so much content online that, like Ryan will tell you right now, he's at Home Depot and someone will say, "Oh, hey, Ryan, I've seen your videos." And he's like, he didn't have a clue whether, and then it takes him a couple of seconds because they're going to see you everywhere. Right now, Charlie will tell you every time he's showing up to people's houses and he's like the fucking celebrity. Monthly actions, all of that stuff, referral. It's not good enough. Just, you want to put together a whole referral system and a follow-up, how you're touching and staying in touch with them. If they refer you, you find out who referred them, send them a gift certificate, call them up, say, "Hey, Dave, man, we're just left this house. These people, I guess they're friends of you, or them from church. Man, just want to let you know how much we appreciate it, brother. I don't know if we're going to do the job, but whether we do or not, I just want to say, it's guys like you that keep our business. All of that. You can make a short video and send it to them. Content strategy, how we build authority. This is all the content. This is crazy important right now because of fucking AI doing the searches for people, not just Google. I put this in. Humor is always welcome. Being real matters more than being polished. I can't stand seeing someone spend $5 grand, 10 grand on the video thinking it's going to get them work, and it almost does the opposite. And I'm like, God, man, you just wasted a lot of money and did yourself more harm than good. So this all kind of explains that. Messing up on the camera is not a problem. It just builds more trust and having a flawless performance. And I learned this is all shit from my days of being a speaker on stage, like with Dave Adams and those guys. When I went around with Zig Ziglar, Les Brown. I mean, that was their number one thing was do not get on stage and try to be polished. Do not get on stage and try to be a perfect speaker. Both of them would tell me that. Mark Victor Hansen, the same thing. He was like, dude, and Mark Victor Hansen was one of the best at it because he always had his slides. That's what kept him on track. It was more important to screw up and say, man, I just messed up. I don't even remember what I'm supposed to say right now, because it just made you more real. It made you, it made the audience endure to you because you were more like them now. But if you got out there and tried to be all polished and perfect, no one trusted you. You seemed like the sleazy sales guy. So that all comes across in the videos. We document the before, after, all of this shit you guys know, homeowner questions, question after. The follow-up afterwards is that's what Charlie's talking about right now. I don't know about the painting, the roofing. I know in the flooring business, most of these guys want to finish the floor, get the check, cash it, and hope they never hear from the homeowner again, because when they do, it's usually come fix this, you screwed up. You got to get past that. You got to call up a week later, a month later, 6 months, say, hey, we're ready to come over and do that first cleaning for you. And then follow up every year afterwards.
Well, no matter what business you're in, you should keep contact with your previous clients. If I was a painter, I would send them something every 6 months, a little note with a few business cards with maybe 10% off for their friends. Say, we liked working for you so much, we'd love to work with more people like you. So if you have any friends that you could refer us to, we would appreciate it. You could take X amount off of your next service if you have us back out to paint.
100%. Did you say we like working for more people like you, or?
Well, yeah, if it's somebody you like working for, now again, if they're a pain in the ass or Karen, don't send them anything. But if it's somebody you really enjoyed working for, just send them a note that, hey, it was great working with you. And if you have any friends, or say, since we liked working with you so much, if you have any friends, we would love for you to share our business card. Say it however you want to.
Yeah,
but at least you're staying in touch. But I would do that at least every 6 months. Just that keeps your name first of mind, because I can't tell you how many people, when I didn't do this over the years, that would find me 5 or 6 years later and say, "Oh my gosh, I thought you'd gone out of business or retired."
Yeah, no, and it is. You've got to be following up. I'm still, no matter what industry you're in, and this whole booklet right here will be, my whole idea is to move back to South Carolina. I'm concentrate on opening another karate dojo for the next 30 years, but everything that's in this book right here, I'll be doing for the karate dojo. But is the whole follow-up is everything, especially in network marketing. The key sentence is that everybody paints on their wall is the fortune is in the follow-up. You've got to stay, right there with them. Right here, AI assistant, content assistant is key. All of this is just making sure you dominate your area. You're just, every day you're doing something. You're watching my videos, you're watching Tommy Mello videos, you're watching something, man, something. There's always something that you can be doing to grow your business. Lessons learned, bottom line, content across different platforms, content rules, relationship building, how we create non-replaceable referral flow. This is all about how we showing up, building the relationships, past, current, builders, all of that. It's how to stay the 5 to 10. So I got more why this matters, bottom line, how to stay in touch with them. Because I was telling Dave, it's like they don't know what touch points is, so I had to explain it a little bit more. It's a quick phone call, short follow-up text, a brief email, a direct message on Instagram, Facebook, comment, thoughtful, something post, sharing a helpful video, article, checking in after a project, congratulating them on a win or a milestone, all of that stuff that Dave just said. Who counts as a touch point contact, all of this. So I wanted to explain everything a little bit more. What a touch point sounds like. Here's an example. Dave, everything that Dave just told you. Why it's important, and I got into this because it's so important. Builder neighborhood outreach. So this right here, the builder neighborhood outreach, and I did this over the last month. I went with them on some different estimates. So because the more they watch me, the better they're going to learn, just by habit. When I'm teaching Tai Chi right now to some old people, and it's really hard to learn. And so the first phase is just called the shadow phase. They just watch me and they try to do it. And then once they get a little bit of it, then I say, okay, that's close, but here's how, you got to put your hand here, put your leg there, do this, bend here, like that kind of thing. So shadow phase, when they're watching me talk to homeowners, they're just, that's their neurons, their brain is just subconsciously they're learning it and they don't even recognize it. But I'm showing them in all of these beautiful neighborhoods that we go into, you're there. So I want them driving around on every street, looking at all the construction that's going on, taking pictures, finding out who the interior designer is, because they all have their sign on the fence. The general contractor has his sign up. The architect has his sign up. The painting contractor has his sign, all of that. So you drive through the neighborhoods, you're looking for new development, identify home remodeling activity, contractors, introducing us, share our website, all of that stuff. Why it matters. Again, everything's long-term payoff relationship, client for life, how we turn every job into years of value. This goes into a lot of the stuff that Charlie just said. We don't want to pester the clients, but we want to stay helpful, stay visible, stay in touch with them. Ask for the Google reviews, the video testimonials, all that stuff. 6-month check-in, cleaning, all that stuff. Why it matters, referrals. So everything, it's like everything is in this book right here. They have 100% absolutely positively I'm telling you, if they read this manual every day and take action every day, you cannot fail. You cannot fail. Tracking and accountability, how we make sure this actually gets done, the right actions are taken, why tracking matters. If something's not tracked, it slowly stops happening. So up in California, you go up the 5 freeway north, you go over the Grapevine, the 5 heads towards San Francisco, and then the 99 heads up towards Bakersfield, Fresno, Modesto, Sacramento, that area. On the 99 off of that, up in this farm area, is a little town called Lodi. And there's a movie about Lodi versus something. And it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's just this little cowboy town, freaking maybe 3,000 population, more than that. But the name always sticks with me because it's out in the middle of nowhere. And Jim Rome used to say Lodi, Lodi. And I'd always talk about Bakersfield, California. And he got so much so he get tired of me hearing it. But Lodi means the law of diminishing intent. I should have put this in the book. I didn't. The law of diminishing intent. Man, you guys sit. You'll watch this video. You'll see a video about losing weight. You'll do whatever. You'll sit down. You're all motivated to do everything. Man, I'm going to take action. I'm going to do this. But the law of diminishing intent. When you wake up tomorrow, you're not going to be as motivated as you are right now. And when you wake up Thursday or next week, it's going to be a little bit less, and then a little bit less, and then a little bit less. It's going to fade unless you do something every day to keep you motivated and to keep that why present. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? If it's not tracked, it will slowly stop happening. The tracking is going to create the awareness, reveals the pattern, prevents the excuses. Prevents the excuses. I should have made that bold. It turns effort into the data. The bottom line, what gets tracked gets done. What doesn't gets ignored. Why we track, we go into all this, the YouTube, you got to have that checklist. All of this, I want you tracking everything. Are you touching, and it's easier for these guys because there's 3 of them, so they can hold each other accountable. Each of them can touch bases with someone, more people, weekly owner check-in once per week, what was completed, what's missed, what work got done, what didn't, what needs adjusting, the meeting, short, honest, no excuse policy. Being busy is not an excuse, Andrew. Being uncomfortable is not an excuse, Doug. Being tired is not an excuse, JB. What track actions, not intention. We track the actions, not intentions. Oh, I thought about doing it. Oh, I need to hear that shit. If something isn't getting done, we ask, is it unclear? Is it unnecessary? All of that. How this manual is used daily. It's not a reference book. It is reviewed daily, used to plan daily, measured weekly, all of it. Accountability. We go through all of it. Section 9, the 5-year timeline, foundation. And you guys will have this. You can go through this. I want to skip all the way down here. Leadership, focus, make the business less dependent on you. Again, your job as a business owner is to replace yourself as quickly as possible. Systems are followed consistently. Training, content, all of new hires, everything. And they're all, you have manuals. It's making sure you do that. Year 4, year 5. By the end of year 5, by the end of year 3, I think they could really start looking at a big time, maybe opening up 2 locations, showrooms in different areas, hiring someone to run those and branch off into the tile, carpet, all of that stuff. Right here, I want to share this with you because this is what I would be doing if I was 25 years old and knew everything that I know right now. Education, skill development, and strategic leverage. This educate helps, blah, blah, blah. You read all that. Philosophy on education. You can read all that. I'm telling these guys, look, take online courses and get a degree in interior designing and decorating. Whether you can charge for it if you want. Interior designers and decorators make a fortune. You then, as you're doing these online courses and going to these online meetings and saying, yeah, I'm getting a degree in interior designing and decorating, but when I'm not doing that, I own a floor company, I own a painting company. And they're like, oh my God, really? Yes, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be friends with these people. You're just going to know interior designers and decorators. You're going to have a degree in it. So when you're meeting with homeowners and they're asking questions where you're going to be able to educate them more. Well, yeah, I have a degree in interior designing. This would flow this way. They get paid. Let me stop right here for a second. I was talking to my daughter yesterday. We were down in Newport Beach, but I was saying is like homeowners pay big money for interior designers and decorators. Big money. And Doug will know this. You'll be trying to make stain samples for a homeowner, and they almost won't even look at it, or they'll say, "Oh my God, I love that color, but I can't make a decision until my interior designer sees it." And I'm like, "God damn, you the one living here, bitch." But they pay so much money because an interior designer and a decorator, they know the outcome, what it's going to look like. They know the big vision, because and with good reason. I mean, you pay a lot of money because you pay a lot of money to have the house painted. You pay a lot of money to have the floor picked. You pay all of that stuff. And at the end of it, if colors don't go together, or then they know what the fabric is going to look like on the furniture. They know what furniture is going to go in which corner. I mean, they all of it. And you can spend, I don't know, $60,000, $70,000 redecorating one room, and it may look like shit because you didn't have professional input. So I'm telling them, look, there is no. You give me. I wanted. What's that picture? The meme where they always use the one dude where he's sitting in the park drinking coffee and he says something and he has the banner underneath him that says "Change my mind." I know you guys have seen it. I wish I could pull it up. I should have grabbed that picture and put it in the manual. But I'm telling these guys, it's like, look, if you can give me a good reason why you don't do some online courses and get a degree in interior designer and decorating, change my mind. There's absolutely no reason not to. Quit watching Netflix, spend 2 hours a day doing whatever online courses you have to, because all it does is make you more of the authority. 5 guys show up to paint a house, 5 guys show up to install a floor, refinish, whatever. And one of them shows up with a degree in interior designer and starts, and you can use a little gay lisp if you want. I don't care.
I'm glad you said it before I did.
It may go over.
I've been busting wanting to say it, and I never did.
But when you can explain why certain colors go certain here, and I've seen a lot of painting guys, companies who try to offer color consultation. Either they'll charge for them or they'll say free color consultation. Is that true, JB?
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
They try to do it, and I'm like, well, what's the authority? I mean, how come you able? I mean, and if you've been a painter, because people ask me right now, I've been doing hardwood flooring 40 years. They ask me, what color you think? And I'm like, whoa, I don't do colors. That ain't. Oh,
Yeah.
no. You need to hire an interior designer for. I said, I've done every color unimaginable, and at the end of the day, I like them all. I don't live here. You know, I'm gonna tell you, natural wood. That's my favorite. It's the least expensive. It's the easiest to take care of. But I ain't gonna walk in this house every day. I don't, boom. So I don't color white because I don't want them mad at me. Oh man, you steered me towards this color. I ain't do shit. I gave you some samples. You showed me the picture that you wanted. I put 5 colors down that are similar to that, and you chose one. All of that.
See, but that's the thing about interior designers. Even if they don't like the color, the homeowner doesn't like the color, they feel like they're wrong because the professional told them that's what it was supposed to be.
Exactly. So, and I guess they learned something going through all of these classes. So if you learn that something that they're teaching and you share that with the homeowner, God damn, it puts you at a whole nother level. It puts my guys and me at a whole different level, because when we go in to do consultations / estimates, I'm educating them so much on the floor. This is the grain of the floor. This is that, this direction. Here's what happens when you do this, that, everything. I educate them so much. By the time someone else came in to give an estimate, the homeowner probably knows more than that guy. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So if you get a degree in interior designer, decorating, any of that shit, it ain't going to hurt you. It's only going to make you look that much better than the next guy. So if you got a good reason not to do it, I'm willing to listen to it. But right now, I don't know what it would be. Anyway, so that was the continual education. But I'm also telling them, look, so here it is, what this education provides, and it's everything we just talked about. Doesn't require, it ain't no 4-year college degree. But I'm telling them too, I'm like, dude, look, man, if I'm 25 right now and I know everything I know right now, there's 100% positively, absolutely no reason I don't take the California General Contractors License test. Because all you're doing is paying the California fee. That's all they fucking want, their money. And then all you're doing is they got the online courses. It's like everything. It's like they don't care if you know how to build a house or not. They just want they want your money. And then all you do is you take these practice tests until you know the answers. But again, when you show up as a contract for a subcontractor, you say, well, yeah, I specialize in, because I don't even think in California, I don't know if in California, I don't know if painters need to be licensed. I don't know. In hardwood floor, they do. But hardwood flooring is not hardwood flooring. It's the C15. It's all flooring. So when you go to take the test, it's only about 5% of it is even about wood floor, and very little about refinishing. You got to know all the carpet, the tile, the grout, expand everything that we don't do. So I said, look, you got the license, open up the showroom, sell it all. But if you've got a general contractor's license, again, when you show up and start talking to a homeowner and you go, well, yeah, no, I'm a GC. I know what the I just specialize in this one area. It just gives you way more authority for all of that. So here's the guideline. And again, I'm saying, look, give me a reason why you shouldn't. Give me a reason why you shouldn't. So all of this, so it goes through that non-negotiable rule about education. Education must support it, never replace it. All this final education. The goal is not to collect certificates. Please, Doug will tell you, I hate these guys who go to all these fucking trade things so they can get certificates. Oh, I'm bonus certified. Oh, I went to NAAFA certified. The homeowners could give a fuck less. They don't care.
Correct.
They could not care less. They don't know. They don't. But if you show up and you say, I got a general contractor's license, that means something to them. Like, oh shit, this dude could build a house. You show up and you say, yeah, I've got a degree in interior design. And they go, oh shit, that a certificate in how to do pattern floors ain't going to make you no money. The goal is to become more trusted, more confident, and harder to compete with over time. Do you get that? The goal is to become more trusted, more confident, and harder to compete with over time. Ownership, commitment, final agreement. The manual is not a suggestion. It's not motivational reading. It's not theoretical. It's to share, blah, 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 all that stuff, what it commits to mean. All of this, perfection. Yeah. What this commitment does not mean. This does not mean perfection, never making mistakes, never adjusting the strategy. Look, man, it's a guideline. Everything in this manual, let me stop sharing. Let me tell you, I'll go something. Pay attention to this. Write this down, as Les Brown would say. Everything in this manual, everything in my videos for building a business, it's like the letters of an alphabet. And you got to learn. So all of it, every little piece that I'm teaching you right now, they all fit somewhere. The letters of an alphabet. When I'm teaching martial arts, that's one thing I try to get through to these guys is everything that I'm teaching you, these kicks, these punches, these blocks, these grabs, these chokes, these holds, all of it, they're all letters of the alphabet. Martial arts, it's just it's a language. Everything that I'm teaching you about growing and building a business, it's a language, and all of these different parts, the letters of the alphabet. So you can take and you've got to learn it like a language. Each letter, unless it's the word A or something, every one of these little letters, none of them mean anything until you put them all together to make a word. Does that mean LOVE means love, and then love means something. So you can take every little piece of this manual, you can take a couple of different pieces of all these videos that I'm making. You can take a little piece out of here, a little piece out of there, and you can put it together to make the word love. Does that make sense? That it's not all in stone where you have to do it. Everything has to be done like this all the time, and you got to do it this way or that doesn't work. It's not that, man. It's these principles, because then you take all of these different little pieces to make words, but then you take all of these words to make sentences, and then that's how we communicate as a language. So all of this works in different little areas, and it's up to you, whatever your personality, whatever your goals are, wherever you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 50 years. That was another thing that really got me with PBD's business manual thing is he was begging everybody to stop thinking on a yearly basis. He wanted you to think on 100-year basis. And he brought up all these statistics of businesses in Japan. Let me Google this real quick. How many businesses are in Japan that have been around more than 100 years? He said in Japan, they don't think like we think, a little 1 year, 5 year run, a 10-year business plan. They think 100 years. And he gave some stupid number of some company that's been around for like over 1,000 years or something crazy. Look at that, 33,000. There's over 33,000 companies in Japan that have been around over 100 years. Some reports suggesting figures closer to 50,000 or more, making it the home to the world's oldest firms. Over 33 of 50,000, 2008. Let's ask them this question. What's the oldest company in Japan? There it is, the Kongo Gumi. Kongogumi. Construction company. That's fucking construction company. Founded in 578 AD. Famous for building temples and shrines.
Wow.
So his thing was like, man, think generational. Someone keeps running it. And he's modeling his consultant company after some big famous construction or consultant company here in America. And the name of the company is some dude that doesn't even run the company. He only ran the company for a couple of years, and some dude took it over. But that guy meant so much to him that he never changed the name and all of that crap. But that name will be around forever. So so he was like, if I can do, his whole thing all day was like, if I can do anything, it's to get you to stop thinking 1 year, 5 year, and 10 year. Start thinking, 20 year, 50 year, 100 year, 1,000 years. Build something that your grandkids will run, and I don't know. It's just mind-boggling to me. Maybe someone else can grasp it, but it could be someone's going to buy your company, and it's so freaking well put together and so well built that they wouldn't change the name. You know what I mean? Because if you're dominating it, it's like, why would you buy McDonald's and then go in there and change the name? That'd be crazy. You're spending all of that money because of the reputation. So his whole thing was think it like that. But all of that to say is, like, all of these little principles, it's like letters of a language. It's like, don't get stuck on doing this. You can take a little bit here and there and make every letter is going to make a word. Every word's going to make a sentence. And that's how we're going to communicate. But it's going to be up to you what you want to do. And that was the biggest thing in that all day meeting with PBD was, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Okay, why do you want it? Because if you don't have a why you want it, you're not going to do it. How disagreements are handled, I went through with them. Standards we agree to uphold, final agreement, then they have to sign it and all that shit. Here's the everyday checklist. I was trying to show you the picture of it. Non-negotiables. Every day, just check it off. Did I do this? Every day, check it off. At the end of the day, ask yourself, what did I do today to help the business grow in the next 6 to 12 months from now? Being busy does not equal building consistency builds. Consistency builds. End of the week checklist. There it is. End of the month. Right here. And then we'll do an annual review and see if our goals have changed. I thought about doing that quarterly, and maybe we will. I don't know. I think if we're going to do these everyday business meetings for just a little 15-minute check-in at the end of the day, what happened, and if they're, because that checklist that I just showed you, I thought about putting that in one of these spiral-bound booklets, and we still may. It just makes it a lot easier. So if you take, 5 of those, 52 weeks in a year type of day, I'm thinking about putting that together. I don't know. They can print it out and put it in their little three ring binder. This just makes it a little bit easier. Every day you got the date, you do it, you check it off. You're reading through your manual. You do 5 of those. It's the end of the week. You're doing the end of the week thing. You do it again. So you do. So it would be monthly. Just makes it a little easier. And anything that makes it easier is going to make you do it. Does that make sense? But the 3-ring binder works also. But if you don't have the checklist, you're not going to check it. If you don't have the manual printed out, I mean, you can read it on your phone probably, but if you have it here, you can highlight it. It's just easier when you print it out. The whole thing is consistency, but before consistency starts with, the business planning of what do I want? And when I'm working with a contractor, JB knows 5-6 years ago when we first started talking, Doug knows, my first question has always been, is like, one, how much money do you need to make every week? How much, and then that tells you how much money you need to make every day. But it's what 3 projects did you do over the last 3 months, 6 months that brought in the most amount of profit? That's all I care about is profit. And once we know that, that's in the beginning, that's what we're going to focus on. Because in the beginning, I just want to focus on big profit projects that bring in some money. And then we expand from there. But that's, for me, that's the center, that's the core. And then you like of the spoke, like a rim. And then you got all these spokes on that rim, and you can venture off and do whatever you want. But if you lose that core, that rim on the bicycle is not going to work. That core falls off. Those spokes that are coming off of that, they're nothing. They don't have any kind of strength, nothing. So you've got to stick to that core. You've got to stick to the big profit making projects, and then you can venture off and do all kind of stuff. And you may find one that brings in more, and then you focus on that. But it starts with that. It starts with you asking yourself some hard-hitting questions, and then writing down what daily actions you have to take to achieve it, and then holding yourself accountable and checking off the checklist. Your checklist may be different than what's in this book for these guys. This book is for those guys. You take this thing here and customize it for you. But for me, it's always education, education, education. There's just no reason not to be watching that dude Steve interview people, watching some Tommy Mello videos, watching some of my videos when I get more consistent, watching videos and of other business owners, whatever it is. And you're not agree, and some of them are going to be totally stupid. But you need to watch those videos just to go, shit, that's stupid. I ain't gonna, but I ask everything is, I'm consistently asking, well, me and Dave was on a video or Facebook post. What were we talking about, Dave? We question ourselves every day. Why do I believe this? Why do I think this is real? Why do I think this is right? Why does this? Like, I question myself every day on every subject. Do I still believe that? Is that still true with everything that I learned yesterday? Is it true today? Because every day I'm listening to something new, reading something new, watching something new, having different conversations with people. So every day I'm asking myself, are my beliefs still valid? Isn't that right, Dave? Didn't we have that?
Yeah, we sure did. Brian, I think the first presentation I ever heard you give, you stood up there and you're like, what do you want? How bad do you want it? And what are you willing to give in exchange for it? Because you don't get anything in this life for free. You got to give something up. So,
hey, how long ago was that, Dave?
That was 15, 17 years ago.
Probably longer. I think it was 2002.
Maybe. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was a long time. But when you talk about what are you willing to give up in exchange for it, sometimes we have to exchange our old belief systems for new belief systems in order to get a different result.
Yeah.
You got to get people to buy into themselves.
Yeah. And I think that's what Einstein meant. And I don't have the quote in front of me. Do you remember it word for word, David? But Einstein said you can't solve today's problems with yesterday's thinking. The thinking that brought these problems today can't be cured with those, whatever it is.
Yeah.
David,
David,
thing. Can I just say that was the greatest Brian Adams impersonation I have ever seen. That was fantastic. I've seen him do that. That's hilarious.
Einstein quote, you cannot solve today's problems with yesterday's thinking. Let's see if it gives it to me. Yeah, so it's so his quote is, I guess it's attributed to him, is we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. And it's true, especially now with the internet and AI and all and how rapidly everything is changing. You've got to stay on the forefront, just with your thinking. It doesn't change in our trades. Like, friggin' Charlie's cleaning the floors and paste waxing the floors the way we did 40 years ago. He changes some stuff, but most of it It ain't changing daily, but it's our thinking and our beliefs and staying in front of stuff, staying ahead of it. That's my thing. Is you've got to be educating yourself all the time, not because you're going to change your daily actions, but you've got to, man, when something does change, someone comes to me and says, hey, man, have you heard? Yeah, I read that 6 months ago. And they're like, what? I said, yeah, man, I try to, shit. I'm on top of it. The AI stuff, I'm on top of it. The new products coming out, I try to stay on top of it. And educate myself on all of it. And there's no reason not to. It's just being lazy. It's just being lazy. And yes, look, the one thought that goes through my mind every day without fail, sometime during the day, this thought goes through my mind. And Les Brown told this to me when we were sitting in the big corner booth at Denny's. He said, Brian, you're either in something right now, or you're coming out of something, or you're headed for something.
That's right.
But everybody's going through something. You just came out of it, you're headed for it, or you're in it right now. Where are you at in life? And there's a whole bunch of stuff. When he asked me that, I couldn't pinpoint. I said, man, I thought about it. I said, man, I'm going through so much shit, I can't pinpoint one thing. And he started laughing. He goes, everybody is. Everybody is. So we can use the excuses of why we didn't upload the video, why we didn't make the touch point with the contractor, why we missed that networking event, and all of that shit. I mean, you can do that. And I tell it to my daughter a little bit, but the two guys that I'm mentoring, I tell them all the time. And I've got a video, one of my little highlight videos from freaking 25 years ago. I think I was doing a presentation for Blue Cross Blue Shield management. It's like, we don't get to come to work sad or mad. It's like, and I do this whole thing, but I'm like, it's like, no matter what's going on in my life, fighting with the wife, the kids ain't right, I can't be, no matter what's going on in my personal life, when they announce me to come out here and give this presentation, none of that matters. I've got to be on my A game, and I've got to give you my best performance. I don't get to come out here and tell you guys, man, I was fighting with my wife last night. Man, my daughter's dating a guy I don't like. Oh, man, the car broke down and I couldn't, and the guy fixing it said he was going to get the part, and now it's 3 times more than. I don't get to come out here and do that shit. And I tell them, I said, look, if I don't get to come out here and do it, you don't get to come out here and do it. So when you come to work and you clock in, whatever's going on in your personal life, that shit gets left behind. When you clock in for Blue Cross Blue Shield gets your best, 100%. 100%. I said, when I clock in, when they announce my name and I walk up these steps to step on this stage, you get me 100%. I don't care what's going on in my life at the house. That shit gets left until I get home. When I leave here and go to work to build the hardwood floor business, whatever's going on at home, whatever's going on at church, whatever's going on at the karate studio, that shit gets left. When I clock in to do the hardwood floor, they get me 100%. I'm on my game. When I don't like, nobody hates, the only person who comes close to hating talking to homeowners as much as me is Doug. And when I
yes,
knock on that, when I pull up and ring that bell, they get me 100%. My daughter will look at me and go, who the fuck just showed up? He was cussing me out 2 minutes ago in the car. This sounds like, it's like, shit, what happened? I turn it. I click. Boom. I pull Anthony Robbins shit. I do this, get my mode. Boom. I'm in fight mode. Bam. And they get the best me. And they think we're best friends immediately. They think like I got up early just to come over there because I didn't have nothing else going on in my life. There was the number one thing in my life right now was talking to them. Boom. Whatever it is. When I show up at the meetings, whatever it is, and I don't know. And someone asked me the other day, how can you compartmentalize or whatever? I separate it. It's also when I'm here, I'm here. I'm there. I'm boom. I can't. It's like because I want to do my best every time for me, and I can't be my best karate instructor if I'm worried about someone screwing up a sand job somewhere. Or if I'm fighting with the wife, if all that shit's going through my head, something else, all this other stuff over here, I can't be the best karate instructor that I need to be standing in front of whoever I'm standing in front of. So all of that shit has to be put on hold. And right now, for this time, that's what they get. Boom.
So Brian,
Yeah.
tell us how your meditation, exercise, diet, sleep, supplementation, and relationships allow you to show up as your ideal self for your client when you actually do show up to work.
That's my next book, David. It is. And that's part of like working with contractors right now. Like, I don't know if you guys seen the post that I put out yesterday. Was Doug may have seen it. Was I'm trying to find, like, there's like 12 cities that I know are pretty good cities to build floor companies. So I want to find one contractor and work with him the same way I'm working with my daughter. I mean, we having daily meetings. They're checking the box every day. All of that stuff. I'm like a part of the company. I want to do that. I don't know if that's going to include, like, I've talked to you guys before about, doing these books, 9 Secrets to Refinishing Wood Floors, like Anthony did, 9 Secrets to the book Contractors Hope You Never Read, my anti-bully book, and now the Contractors book. I'm getting pretty good at this book thing. Now this is my baby, Protect and Serve, Protect and Provide, the Lost Code of Manhood. I'm loving this thing 100%. But I've learned more about health and fitness in the last 5 years than I wish I ever had. And it was almost like a funnel. So if you take a big funnel and it starts at 5 years ago and it goes to right now, man, these last 2 years, especially because I've been out here on the ranch, which has made me drive about, on average, I'm driving a minimum of 5 hours a day, which I hate because it ain't wasted time for me, because I'm reading and listening to a lot of books and doing a lot of research. Because I'll pull over, I'm reading these books and they'll say things in these books that I've never heard. And again, like me and Dave just said, wait a minute. So I pull over and I'll ask Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Grok, all 4 of them. I'll say, hey, I'm listening to this book right now, and this guy just told me this. Boom, 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 boom. Is that true? Why have I never heard this before? What can you tell me about this? And then I'll sit there for another hour reading all of this shit from all of these AIs who are telling me this stuff that I've never heard before. And I'm going, how in the F did I never hear this? I'm 61 years old. How did I not hear? How does not everybody hear this every day? So I do that through all of my books. And most of the books, like I try to buy. Hey, what's his name? Like Alex Hermosi says, I try to buy the book and the audio. So I'll when I have time, I'll read it and highlight it as I'm listening to it. But yeah, through health and fitness. But the meditation, the cold plunges every morning. I don't want to get in that effing cold water. Shit. Not one morning have I woke up and thought, yeah. Every day I argue with myself.
Not a lick of sense.
But it's the first battle of the day that I won with myself, because half of me tries to talk me out of it, and I win. No matter what, I win. Then I get out and I get in the jacuzzi. I could almost fall asleep in there, and then I get back in the hot tub, just for a little bit more pain, and then everything gets better. But then and then I'll do my little workout. Hopefully I hit the gym. But the eating has changed drastically, and I don't know where that's going to go in the next 1 to 2 to 3 years of what I've learned about the sugar. Man, I just read this book, Why We Get Sick. I just read the obesity code, this Dr. Boz lady, and they all kind of say different things or the same thing in different ways. But insulin resistance seems to be the cause of every sickness and disease. And it makes sense when you start researching it even deeper, the inflammation and what's going on in the body, and the fasting and how throughout history, all religions fast. All religions do some type of fasting, but throughout history, as humans, we were forced to fast because not one time in history, except for the last 150 years, have we had, really 100 years, have we had food readily available. At some time or another, you had to go a couple of days without eating, not because you wanted to fast, you just didn't have no damn food. And that's the body's way of healing itself. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But it needs, and I think it may be the follow up to this, but it's at least 3 years out. I'm trying to live everything that I've learned this year, and so far I'm doing pretty good, food wise. I mean, I'm probably health wise, I'm the best I've been. By the end of the year, I'll be in the best shape that I've ever been in because of what I'm eating and working out. I'm teaching the Tai Chi to the old people. When I move back to South Carolina, I'll be teaching almost full time to some old people because that's an old retirement community, right? But the goal is to open up the karate studio, and I want to concentrate on turning young boys into men and making men better through this book. And a lot of that's going to do with what we eat. But it kind of bothered, like right now, teaching old people Tai Chi, there's good and bad. There's no reason not to do it, except if that's the only exercise you're going to do. I don't want you wasting time doing Tai Chi. I'd rather you be at the gym lifting weights, because for someone 60 years and older, there's nothing they can do for their health more important than lifting heavy weights for a good 30 to 45 minutes. So if you can do that and add Tai Chi, I want you to do that, because it's the meditation, it's the deep breathing, it's the flexibility, it's the coordination, it's working out your hips, so that most people, when they get old, they fall, they break their hip, they're dead in 6 months. So Tai Chi would help a lot in that aspect, but so would lifting weights. Lifting heavy weights. There's AI, hit AI, depending on how old you are. Charlie's my age.
Older.
JB, what are you, 46? JB, how old are you, 46?
Oh, I'm sorry, 44.
44? Yeah. Dave, how old are you, Dave?
54.
54? Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, AI it. Try all 3 AIs. Just say, hey, I'm 44 right now. Definitely, if you type in AI and you say you're 60, and say I only got one, because I did this for Victor, Dave. I made Victor do it because I've been bugging Victor for the last 3-5 years. Come on, hey man, let's go to the gym. You got to hit some weights. You got to lift some weights. You're too skinny. You're too skinny. And all he does is, like, on the weekend, he'll ride his bicycle for 2 hours. I'm like, dude, you're killing me with that shit, man. You're killing me with that shit. Stop it already. Not stop it, because it's better than nothing. Like in the book, Why We Get Sick, the dude says the best exercise to do is the one you'll do. Granted. So after that is, which is the best one for you. So I made him do the AI.
He's too busy finding the negative and the positive.
He is. I said, no, man, do AI. And sure enough, I said, he typed in AI. Hey, I'm whatever he is, 72 or 74, 72 years old right now. I'm in pretty good health, but I only have 2 hours a week to work out. What should I do? And it's like over and over again. It's like, at this stage of your life, please lift weights. The heavier, the better. Lift, heavy weights. And for a lot of reasons. The glucose in your blood and the insulin. The insulin is what insulin is what delivers sugar to you and to your muscles and cells to rebuild, and definitely your muscles. The only time glucose can enter your muscles without the help of insulin, and everything is about cutting insulin down as much as you can, if not stopping it. But the only time glucose can enter your muscles without the help of insulin is when you're lifting weights. The muscle says, oh man, this dude's working out. He's using me. I don't need you right now, insulin. I'm going to grab all the glucose. I'm going to grab the ketones. I'm going to grab whatever to start rebuilding this muscle right now. And then it does that for hours after you've worked out. Probably over 80% of the population, definitely in America, maybe the world, everyone is insulin resistant right now because and that's a nice way of saying you're pre-type 2 diabetes. I could go on and on for that shit, but it's just a shitload that I keep reading and researching. So all of that.
So Brian, the reason I bring that up is when you talk about showing up as our best self to work, that we leave it at home and we show up as our best self. Once we hit the job, we're there, we're doing the thing. But there are habits that set us up for success when we hit the job. And there are habits that 100% you can't show up as your best self. You don't even know who your best self is yet.
Mm-hmm. It is.
That's it.
Like, I'm drinking my coffee right now. A scoop of creatine and a little quarter slat of butter. No sugar or any of that crap. But anything about this business manual booklet thing, the whole business planning, that PBD, I tried emailing that to you guys, and somehow he's got it worked out to where every time I try to email it, it won't let me attach it. So he's done, because he's still selling it. You can get the recording, you can get the book, all that crap. The booklet is worth buying, that's for sure. The recording, I guess it's worth watching if you got time. I would have liked to have been there. There's nothing will ever, like, I don't know what AI will replace, but I know for a fact, even these meetings right here that we're doing, nothing will ever replace meeting in person. It's not even, it's 10% of what, like, if we were all in the same group right now, in the same room, sitting around a coffee table or anything, it'd be 100 times better for whatever reason. I can't pinpoint what it is. I know it's the energy. I know it's just.
It's the camaraderie. It's like being around a campfire.
Yeah, it is. The online stuff will never replace that. When I was, I don't know, last year, whatever the heck it was, when I spent the night with you, Charlie, and we did that little mental martial arts presentation for the contractor dude. What's his name? You know him.
Oh gosh.
Texas, Steve.
He's the painter guy.
Yeah. But he's got a phenomenal business. But when we were at his office, Phillips, yeah. When we were there, I mean, shit, just that little hour, and well, we were there probably 2 or 3 hours. But shit, we stood outside and talked longer than the whole meeting.
Right.
Nobody wanted to say but he's got a phenomenal business. Phillips Painting, but he does repair and some other stuff. But he's got 34 employees, and they don't do any labor. They sub all the work out. So he's got at least 34 employees working in that office. He's got his little compartment, maybe 7 or 8 guys are doing nothing but the marketing. He's got another 8 or 9 guys that all they do is answer the phone, another 5 or 6 guys that just, set up the appointments and go out and bid and the project managers. But whatever he's doing, it works. And I guess, Charlie, you've seen his vans around, or his billboards.
Yeah, I've seen his trucks. I think he used to do some of the work, but
he's
been around for. It's Jason Phillips is his name, of Phillips Painting.
Yep.
But he's branched into a few other things, I think. But he's also doing some coaching, and he does speeches now.
Yeah, no, he does. He's like, it's that core thing. He found how to make a good profit, and then just kept growing from there. And he got away from the labor. And now he just subs it all out, and now he's trying to help the guys, and he makes a lot of money, and he's real nice. He's a great guy. Like, he'd be one of the, if I didn't have time to help somebody build their business, and they said, well, can you recommend someone? It would be him. I'd say, yeah, call this dude. He's lived it. He's still living it. He's doing it every day. Whatever he says, it works. You just got to do the work.
He's a cool guy when it comes to the advertising and all. He never has tried to do anything fancy. It's always just the name Phillips Painting, and then he's got a picture of himself with either a paintbrush or a paint roller. But it's very simple. But he stays incredibly busy and is well spoken of in the neighborhood, but in McKinney and Allen, Plano area.
And it is because of he's like rebuilt his company, I think 3 times. He's like, he told me he just scrapped everything and learned from it. So he took what worked and then just started over a couple of times.
Right.
But when you're around that long in that area, it's all the relationships that he's built with people, because he's a nice guy, and he's not trying to rip nobody off and lie to them. Dave, a duck is going out. All right. Any questions before we get out of here?
So your book there, how do other people get it?
Which one?
Your manual that you've shown. Is that you have that for sale?
The 5-year growth manual thing?
Yes.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. There's a couple of contractors that are in my elite coaching program, the ones that I talk to every week, almost every day. They have it, and I don't know if they're going to even use it. I thought it like the people who went and bought all the manuals. I'm thinking about offering it to them, but I may just keep it and see what happens with this anti-franchise thing that I'm doing. If you didn't see that post, the anti-franchise thing is for like my coaches and the guys that I work with. They want me charging 25 grand down and like $5 grand a month to work
or
with
more.
Yeah, to work with somebody one-on-one like I'm doing with my daughter in every city. Because within 5 years they'll dominate that city and they'll have a $500 to $1 million profit business. And that puts too much pressure on me. My focus is going to be getting to South Carolina, staying there for a year to determine if I want to open up the full-time karate studio for the next 30 years. So right now I picked the cities, and if I can get the contractors, I think I do need to double the price, because right now I think I have it at like $5 grand down payment, and then it's $500 a month, and they're going to get everything. They get me. They're going to get all the manuals, the book, the website, everything. We talk daily, everything. So I may do that with like 2 or 3 cities, and then see how much work it is, and see if I need to increase it. But right now, I think the 5,000 down and the 500 a month will weed out the guys that I've worked with over the last 3 years who just waste my time. They get started and then they don't do anything, and that's nobody on this call. 100% nobody on this call. There's some guys down in Florida and some, I ain't gonna bring up their names. They still use the website. I almost want to cancel the fucking website, because the website was just a part of the deal and they don't follow through with the other shit. And I'm like, well, fuck you. I'm cutting off the website, but I ain't gonna do a dick, because it's their livelihood. They're the only one that's hurting is them. It ain't hurting me. But I don't want to waste any more time with guys like that. So I'm gonna see where it goes. So I'm gonna see where it goes with that. But there's the guys who are close to me already have this thing, and I'm gonna see if they'll use it, because it is like if you go through everything like that's in this book, if you just read it every day, highlight it, keep reading it every day, you will have to take the actions, even if the actions are subconscious. And Dave Adams will understand this. Is a lot of people have asked me right now about my eating and definitely my wife. She's like, man, I'm so impressed. Blah, blah, blah. And who has seen the movie They Live? Is that the name of it, with Rodney Piper? Where he finds those Ray-Ban sunglasses. And
Roddy Piper, yeah.
Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
You see that movie? God, I love that movie. But he puts it on. He puts the Ray-Bans on, and you see everything for what it is. The aliens are here. The billboards are freaking just manipulating you, and like.
Yeah.
So if you've seen that movie, that's what it is, man. I've read so many health books right now and dug in, and I have lived it. I tried the vegetarian thing. I did the green juice thing for so many years, and that really messed up my wife health-wise. And I thought, how could that be? How could that happen? But now reading all these other health books, I realize how that could happen, what it does to you internally, and how you could fix. So I told her, I said, man, she goes, man, I'm impressed with your eating. I said, how? I said, it's like I put on those fucking Ray-Bans, Rodney, what's his name?
Roddy Piper.
Yeah, Roddy Piper. My granddad was a crazy wrestler, dude. If you guys
I loved him, man. He was great. He was whooping Hogan's ass back in the day.
Back then, man, I'm telling you. But so now I feel like him. Like when I put those glasses on, I see all the food for what it really is, and I almost can't eat it. It's like, oh shit, no. It's like if you put the glasses on, you reach down to pick up a snake to bite its head. You're like, oh shit, what am I doing? Like, and it's because I've read so many and listened to so many of those books so much. I'm telling you, I'm driving around for 5 to 6 hours every day. I'm not wasting those hours. I'm listening to book over book over book over book. So again, if you read this over and over and over again, and you check the box, and you watch the videos over and over and over again, you subconsciously change yourself, even if you don't want to where business in the business world, it'll be like putting on the Ray-Bans. You'll see everything to where everything is moving in slow motion, and you're like, oh shit, you do the stuff subconsciously, whether you want to or not. You just change. Jim Rohn tells you, Anthony Robbins tells you, every book tells you, the key to learning and the key to changing is repetition, 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 repetition. And that's what I've done. I've read so many different health books from different authors, and each of them have their own little perspective. The whole, here's an example. My entire life, I've heard, oh man, you want to lose weight? You eat less calories than you burn. That is I've heard that so many, it's in you, it's in your cells. It's like nothing else can be true until you hear someone go, that's the stupidest thing ever. They should have never told people that. The first time I heard that, it was like eating meat. The first time I heard, yeah, eat meat to be healthy, I was like, God, that went against everything I've heard my entire adult life, to where it stops you in your tracks to going, what in the hell is this guy? What? It's mind boggling. There's no way it can be true, because I've heard that other stuff so many times. It's like, no. And it makes sense. Yeah, man, just eat less calories, burn more calories. Eat less than you burn, blah, blah, blah. You're going to lose weight. And then I heard a couple of doctors mention it. They just mentioned it. And I'm like, well, I'll give them the credit. They got that wrong. But, and then you start asking yourself, like me and Dave you ask yourself, like me and Dave just said, every day I get up going, hey, do I still believe that? Why do I still believe that? Is it true? What have I learned? What did I learn yesterday that made me think different? Boom. And so then when you read Why We Get Sick, and he talks about it, and you read Keto Continuum with Dr. Boz, and she talks about it, and I'm like, God, man, I was like, what? No, it can't. And then when I read the Obesity Code, his ass was able to explain, they're able to explain it a little bit in Why We Get Sick. But that book is hard to read, and even hard to listen to, even harder to read, because it's just data. And you get tired. You get so tired of reading and hearing insulin resistant. Why is this disease insulin resistant? Here's why. I was like, oh my God. And he kind of explains why it works. But in the book, The Obesity Code, he explains it to where a 6-year-old could understand it. And then it clicks and you go, son of a bitch, another thing that we've been lied to about. And that part, I don't know if we were lied to about, or they hoped it was right and it wasn't. But it's over and over again, you hear shit, you go, the health thing, I posted the other day, the sooner you understand the healthcare industry doesn't care anything about your health, the sooner you can start, taking responsibility. And I don't think doctors get into it for the money. There's other things they could do for money. I think doctors get into it because they genuinely want to help people. I just think that they're lied to from the very beginning, and they never look outside of that box. They just believe what they're told, and that's what they do, and they never question it.
That sounds like some wood floor guys.
Probably every industry.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, question everything. Question what I say. Question all of it. When my buddy told me he'd quit eating vegetables and he's only going to eat meat and bacon, I was like, God damn. And that was probably 7 to 8 years ago. And I thought, dude, that goes against everything we've heard. Fat is bad, all this other shit. And then I heard it from different people. Just little sticks, little pins. Reading Russell Bronson. Is that how you say his last name, David?
Brunson, yeah.
Yeah,
Brunson.
Reading his book, and he talks about drinking coffee with butter in it. And I was like, who in the hell would eat butter? What's this guy talking about? And but I didn't pursue the research, that kind of thing. And then I'm watching that damn show. This was a big turning point for me health-wise, watching that show alone. I think it's on the Discovery Channel. You ever seen it? It's where they drop off like 10 people up in like usually Canada somewhere, but they're on like a little island, and they're separated by about 10 miles or something. But they drop you off, and it's whoever can stay out there the longest wins the 500 grand or something. You ever seen the show? It's fascinating because some of these guys can build these huts and kill and fish and all this other shit. They could live out there forever, a couple of them, and they end up giving up because they're alone. They're lonely. So many of them give up because they're alone. It's heartbreaking to see these guys. But this one dude kills, I think he kills a fucking moose or something. I'm like, God damn, he'll be out there for the next 2 years. And so he's carving it all up, and he's separating all the meat, and he's separating all the fat, and he's got all this fat in a bag or something, and he's hiding it. And a wolverine comes and steals all the fat. And so all he has is this pure lean meat from the moose. And he's sitting there frying it up and eating it. And he's sitting there and he goes, I've got 100 pounds of meat and I'm eating it. And I'm going to sit here and starve to death because I don't have any fat. I may go in there and watch that just so I can record that thing. Because when I was like, what is he talking about? He's got all that meat and all the other, it's like, and he's sitting there literally starving to death because the wolverine stole all the fat. And now I know that's the main part of our diet should be animal fat. That should be the main part of your diet. But him saying that, I was like, God damn, was my buddy onto something? Was Russell Brunson dropping butter in coffee? Was he onto something? What do these people know that I don't know? Like, because, and that's another great quote that Les told me years ago. Les would say, the problem with people's lives is, the problem with most people is they don't know what they don't know, but they think they know. And it's almost a tongue twister. It's like, what? Les, say that again. Les, say that again. He write it down. The problem with most people's lives is they don't know what they don't know, but they think they know. And that was me health-wise for a long time. Because you listen to all these people who are supposed to have your best interest, and they don't. And then some of them who do were just told by the people who don't. So they're telling you because they have your best interest, but they don't know what they're talking about because the people who are educating them don't have your best interest. But that was when that dude, I'm sitting there going, God damn. But that dude ended up killing the wolverine, and the wolverine was nothing but fat. So he did end up winning that whole challenge. But mentally he's kind of messed up. I don't know where he's at today. But I'm gonna go back and find that what season that was. I wish one of you guys watched it. But he ended up killing the wolverine and had enough fat on the wolverine to sustain him. Crazy. It's just crazy what we don't know. Because we only know what we've been taught, right? You figured stuff out on your own a little bit, but not a lot. Today's society is where we're at because, like my daughter, like everything I'm telling you with this 40 years, they're able to take everything that I've figured out over the last 40 years and they get to start from there. So now someone being born right now, they get to start where we're at with technology. AI and all that shit is changing everything rapidly. JB could tell us with what his son is doing with computers and IT and all that shit. It's just you can't keep up with it. It's moving so quick. But we all of us, we only know what we know because someone has told us that and we believed it. And then through our life's experiences, that's why everybody has different belief systems. It's because of what they've lived through over the years. And you touch something and it's hot, so okay, well shit, fire hot, it hurts. Don't do that again. Not too much fire is okay because it keeps me warm at night. And someone can tell you, don't touch that. It's like especially at those Mexican restaurants when they bring the hot fajitas and it's in that pan. I don't know if they have that in Europe, Andrew, but over here they'll bring this hot, flat black iron skillet. And it's just sizzling. With the meat and the chicken. And it's like, don't touch it. And you can hear it sizzling enough to know don't touch it. But a kid, he'll reach over there and go, oh shit, I told you not to touch it. Didn't you believe me? No, I had to go through it. And that's one reason I'm moving. Well, there's a lot of reasons I'm moving, but it's time for me and my daughter to separate and not live together anymore because she's got to go through some shit to learn life. And if I'm here, I'm going to stop it. Does that make sense? And some things you just can't be taught. Some things you just got to go through. JB will tell you. Some things you just got to go through and say, God, and you knew all this shit is there, but you got to go through it to learn it. So I don't know. It's like, so the quicker you can educate yourself and read these books, watch my videos, watch other people's videos, and question them. Say, is that true? Wait a minute. Go to, like me, go to hit pause, go to AI and say, man, that crazy ass Brian Adams just said this. Is there any truth to that? And AI may say no. And then you say, okay, well, why would he say that? Is there anybody who could be misleading or what is it? And then, because AI doesn't give you the truth. AI just gives you what it finds on the internet. And that's going to be the problem with AI. That's why in this book, and a couple of months ago, I was telling you guys, content is king, because homeowners are going to be asking AI questions, and I want them to find all they can do is search the internet for the answer throughout, who knows how much database. So if your content looks like it's the best answer, that's the answer it's going to give. That's why I want you guys doing so much content right now. So you have to ask it in a couple of different questions, and then ask yourself, well, is AI being manipulated? And you can even ask AI, are you being manipulated? Or why would you give me this answer? Who's telling you to give me this answer right now? Is there someone who else would give me a different answer? And it'll tell me, yes, but this is not medical advice. This is only medical. Please search and seek out a doctor before implementing any of this, what I'm getting ready to tell you. And I'm like, okay, tell me. And then you can kind of dig through it and get to the truth of it. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Any questions?
No. Happy Sunday, fellas.
Thank you,
That's
brother.
right, guys. Enjoy it.
Happy Sunday.
Thanks, JB. Hey, JB, check your email, man. This booklet thing will be there, and Douglas already has his.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, bro. Hey, Charlie, you want a
Hey,
copy?
Brian, real quick, Brian.
Yo. What's that?
Oh, I was gonna say, how's your friend that's eating bacon fat and meat only for the last 7 years? How's he doing?
Shit, good. Oh, bacon fat. He eats the bacon and the fat. He lives in. He's doing better than ever now. He eats meat and a lot of bacon and a lot of fat, but he eats a lot of meat. But he's doing great.
Okay.
Now he's in the. He sold everything because we grew up together. I say grew up. I mean, I've known him probably longer than I've known most of anybody else. But yeah, he sold everything 3 years ago. I should take you outside and show you all the guns and ammunition I have right outside my garage door. You can see my 30-30 is not up there. He bought the 30-30 for me, but I have all of his crazy. Like, if the FBI come over here, I'm going to jail. I've got way too many guns and thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds of ammunition because of his crazy ass. Because he sold everything and moved. He moved to Malaysia first, but and then he went to Thailand and then Philippines, Malaysia, and he back and forth. But now he's 67 probably, and he's got this little 36-year-old girl that loves him or loves his money. She's got and they've been together now 2 years, but he's as happy as could be, and trying to eat over there. He's eating a little bit more vegetables and stuff because it's a little bit cleaner, and the vegetables aren't bad. I'm like, some of these carnivore doctors will tell you plants and shit are trying to kill you. I don't think they're trying to kill you. If I was sick, I wouldn't eat any vegetables or fruit for a long time until I wasn't sick anymore. But the fruit, everything is trying to keep your insulin levels down. The lower your insulin levels, the better. And like my daughter has a lot of sick problems, but Advil works because it reduces inflammation. My daughter is extremely allergic to Advil. It took us 3 years to find that out, and a lot of visits to emergency room. But Advil reduces that's why Advil will work for pain when other stuff doesn't, because Advil is an anti-inflammatory. So Advil, so Advil is like a number 10 when it comes to stopping pain because of inflammation. And then she gets so bad she has to go to steroids. And you watch Dr. House, they're giving steroids out, but with steroids comes a lot of freaking, if you're on steroids for a long time, comes a lot of fucking problems with steroids, bone deterioration, a whole lot of problems come with steroids. But steroids compared to Advil is like a 10. Steroid is like 100. That's why steroid, when they give you a shot or you take the pill, bam, almost instantly you start getting better. Almost instantly, a 10 to a 100. Ketones is like a 10,000. So you got a 1 for Advil, 100 when it comes to steroid. Ketones is like a 10,000. Shit they will never tell you. And ketones all produced out of the liver naturally. If I had a friend that had Alzheimer's or any of that shit, they'd never eat another vegetable or anything. They would only eat animal fat and meat because of the ketones that would go in and reverse Alzheimer's and dementia. You can read, this is one of those things I had to stop and hit pause because I never heard of it. There's some theory about how we evolved, we broke away from apes and all this other shit. And they call it something like the lone gut syndrome or something. But at one point we stopped eating vegetation, or we cut down on it. Apes and chimpanzees and all that shit still eat the roots and the plants and all that stuff. So they still have a really long bio gut, because vegetation has to stay in your system for a long time to ferment so it can digest and get pushed out of your ass. At some point, cavemen stopped eating that shit or cut down on it. So their stomach shrunk because they started eating meat. And you don't need it, and meat will go through you like this. And the body will use 90%. So if you had a bag, you would shit out almost dust, because the body, there's so much nutrients in meat, the body uses all of it. But since you're so low on insulin and glucose, your body and liver starts producing the ketones. It's the ketone. And I had heard before, I did hear before that we started eating meat and our brains grew, and that's why we got smart. I had heard that years ago and didn't pay any attention to it. So I guess it's this study that shows we started eating meat, which produced the ketones, which the brain feeds off of ketones, and that's what made our brains grow. So you can ask AI that, and they'll give you the whole study crap on it. But the brain feeds off of ketones. That's why when you're in a state of ketosis and the brain is living off of ketones and not sugar and glucose, you think faster, you think more clearly, you lose depression almost instantly. I'm trying to come up with a comedy bit right now where I'm talking about being depressed for so many years, and I was a punk ass, didn't have the guts to kill myself. So I thought, well, shit, I'll just, I'll listen to all the doctors, and I got to put it together somehow. But I'm talking about how I didn't have the guts to kill myself or hang myself. So I said, fuck it, I'll just eat nothing but meat and fat for 6 months and die of a heart attack. And lo and behold, I lost 45 pounds, started thinking clearer, not depressed anymore. It's like, what the hell else? It's like, damn, is that just another thing that they like? That's like a joke from my carnivore friends. But it's funny because it's fucking true, kind of thing. But yeah, ask AI. The AI, I tell you. I think there's a pendulum right now because of the internet, as good and bad as it is one, doctors have been shunned for so long. Like if you tried to even question the main theory of something, they wouldn't print your art. The big thing for doctors is to write articles and there used to be about 10 famous magazines that you wanted your articles to be, presented in, World Health Organization and all this other AMA shit. And that's gone now. So now it's the internet has opened it up. And they can share information with each other without being shunned. All right, Big Charlie.
Did we lose everybody?
It looks like we lost JB and what's his name kept going in and out anyway. Doug, he's in his car somewhere.
Were you going to ask me something?
No, I was just going to say bye.
Oh,
Hey, you see a dumbass in Greensboro talking about they got it locked up.
yeah.
I would almost pay a fucking contractor to do what he needs to do to dominate that area because of that dumbass dude.
See, I thought you had him blocked. I was wondering how he saw your posts.
I went back and unblocked him, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, I guess. But I still don't see any of his bullshit anymore.
Yeah.
I seen one of the posts where he had said something about asking for some kind of course or something.
Mm-hmm.
But when he wanted to, like, anybody who's going to praise dumbass carpet Courtney, I don't want anything to do with them. And you sent me that one thing where the guy responded to the one dude who you said is Courtney's friend.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're friends or
yeah, they're in cahoots. He's the guy that was doing. He's there. I think he's in Atlanta. Courtney's just outside of Atlanta. So, and I got to tell you though, that guy seems like a good fella.
No, he does. Like that, yeah, from that video, I liked it.
Yeah.
It was a good video. And I think it's that video. Doesn't he show all of the equipment that they use? So he's got all that stupid shit that they sell.
Yeah, I saw James Toll ask him, he said, are you doing this with Bona? And he responded, no. Toll's somebody that'll call him out on the shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, he just doesn't seem like a bad guy to me.
No, he doesn't. And I think he even responded to the one guy who said something about, hey, I've been doing this for so many years. It takes a lot of years to learn it and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I think he said, yeah, it does take a long time. Because I went in there and responded also. I said, yeah, it's like, I've been doing it for 40 years and man, it's just, I'm still learning shit sometimes. It's like, a lot of it is trial and error. You just don't want the error to be that bad. I said, but even once you learn how to do it, where do you get the work from?
Right.
What good is the equipment if you've got $25,000 worth of equipment sitting in the garage and you do one job a year? What good is that?
It's not so much with what I do because it's what I do a monkey could do. But I think if these guys, in addition to training, could connect these guys with another floor person in their area where they could go and apprentice under them for 6 months to a year, I think they would really have a good thing going as far as their courses. That would just give them something to really promote the extension of learning the service.
Yeah.
Any service.
Yeah, how do you spell Raleigh?
RALEIGH.
Yeah. That's what it takes. Even that, I like that one dude that you were warning me about, but I offered a couple of guys. It's like, hey man, how much you going to charge me? I was like, I ain't going to charge you anything. If you want to fly out here and rent a hotel and rent a car, you can show up to one of our job sites and, I'll waste a couple of hours with you. Because it's like, that's what I've never liked about any of, like, when we go to these product reviews and stuff, it's on a big 8x8 board. And it's like, that just ain't realistic. Man, when you're in the house and the corners and the door jams and it would benefit these guys to go work with somebody, if only for a week.
Right.
Just maybe pay them and then work for free, if and do a couple of different jobs.
Yeah, see, I have so many guys ask me if they can do I think they're calling them ride-alongs and all that. My issue is, well, for me personally, I promote myself as being the owner and the one that does it. But I think I would not be happy if I was having work done at my house and you drag in a couple of people that had on these T-shirts that they're students or whatever. I would just take issue with you bringing people in to teach them. Because if I'm hiring you, I want your experience and your knowledge. I don't want you training people on my floor or walls or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
I just think it has a bad look for a business. If you're going to teach this, to me, you ought to have a warehouse set up with a large, like that girl, I can't think of her name. She's called That Tile Chick. So they don't bring people in. They have a little showroom where they teach people how to do it.
Yeah. And that too, like, now that we're kind of doing the Google local service ads, which used to be Google Guarantee, but now it's just called Google Verified. It seems to be pretty freaking good. It's effing expensive, like effing expensive. But man, when Google puts that verified check mark on it, homeowners trust it because they know who's going to be in the house. And that's another thing. Who is like, that's my wife's big pet peeve about getting any construction done. It's like, who the hell's coming over here? Are they coming to scam the house, to check it out, to set it up so they can come back and rob it? I'm like, what's
Right.
Let me see if I can get this.
Well, you just, even if you're just searching Google, you can check out people enough, I think, through it anymore. It's rare that anybody's got 4.5, 5 stars that they're going to be a thief.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a handyman or somebody you don't know, I mean, you're always taking a chance with somebody like that.
Yeah. And that's like, the thing I didn't like about, let me copy this link for this guy. The thing I didn't like about Google they call it LSA, local service ads. Hang on here. I'm trying to copy this link. I don't see a link. Share. Hang on. Share. Copy the link. There we go. So the thing I didn't like about the ads is it's so when you search anything, the first thing you're going to see nowadays is Google Verified, 2 or 3 companies, and all you can do is click message or click call, and as soon as you do that, I'm charged a shitload of money. With the Google paid per click is they see your ad and they click it and it takes them to my website, and I want everybody going to the website because the more often they go to the website, the more they fall in love with us. So I didn't like the local service ads because of that. But now they've added this thing called overview, and I really like that. It's not as good as the website, but at least they can click the overview. They don't have videos yet. I'm hoping they'll add videos soon, but they can see all the before and after pictures and other stuff, which makes us look that much better. But I mean, the way it's looking, and we just started like 2 weeks ago. It looks that because of that Google verified check mark, people just freaking trust it and like it, and then they click and call. Who the girls in the office will answer the phone, and it'll say, "You have a call coming in from Google local service ads," or something. I don't even know what it says. They told me it says something like that, so they know. Hi, this is so and so with Only with Floors. So when you're there, they know that you called because of the local service ads, and then all of that's recorded, and then we get to go in. They used to have where you could say this was not a lead, and you could kind of argue with it. They got rid of that, but now we can go in and we track it. Like Google likes you to track it. Google likes to know what happened with it. Like, here's the address. This person, they want us to fill out the detail. This person wanted this. We did this. We did the job. Blah blah blah. It just the more we stay on top of it, the better it is. The more you inform Google what's going on, the better. But they do have a section to where how were, I think it's 4 or 5 things that you like. Was this a good lead? Were you satisfied? Dissatisfied, very dissatisfied, or something? And there's been a couple of calls that came in. They want like LVP or something. So we got to go in and fill out all the stuff and then hit very dissatisfied. And supposedly Google will give us the money back. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull something up here. Refinish.
Are you wanting this to stay live?
Yeah, I don't care. Refinish with Floors near. Let's see if it comes up. Because I had to turn it down. Yeah. because the first two were, yeah. It was so damn much money. Yeah, there we are. But I had to give in to them because it's the first. It's like no matter what the service is, it's the first thing they show now is the Google verified. They'll show like 2 businesses, and then you can click for more businesses, or you just go past them, and then it's going to be Google Maps, or no, then it's going to be Google Ads, the Google pay per click, and then it's going to be Google Maps.
And what do you have to do to get verified?
Man, you got to jump through all kinds of stupid hoops. In California, since you need a contractor's license, you have to, show proof of that. Then you have to show the insurance, and then they do a back, like, I forgot how they use some company. It's a third-party, super secretive company that does a personal background check on you, which I guess is good for the homeowner. And they'll tell you if you're verified or not. I mean, but there's a handful of things that you have to do. Yeah. So when I search the area, so we're always like at the top of this is maps. But before they get down to maps, we're number one in most areas. But before you get to maps, you got to get through all these ads that whether it's pay per click or
wow. That's starting to get like Yelp then.
Yeah.
Because with Yelp, there's always people that are paying that are ahead of you.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
which to me, I don't really think that's fair. I get that they're paying, but
yeah,
it ought to be reviewed. There ought to be a lot of different reasons that you can be ranked higher.
And even with the local service ads, Google Verify, Google Guarantee, like if you don't have enough 5-star reviews, they won't even consider you. So that's part of the verification immediately. And then the more Google reviews you get, the better for you. I don't know if it lowers your cost per lead or what, because they're not paying like the Google ads, which is PPC, pay per click. That's just like every time they click my ad, that's like $4 or $5. Used to be when I first started, it was like 25 cents. But for
you know how much that pains me.
and then for other and for me it's cheap. For other guys it's like $9, $10, depending on the industry. Like for plumbers and roofers and HVAC guys, it'll be freaking $25 to $30 per click. And the clicks don't mean shit. The clicks just mean they go to your website or your landing page or something, and it'll take a certain amount of clicks to get them to call you, type of thing. The local service ads, LSA, Google Verified, that's supposed to be you're only paying for the lead, meaning you clicked it, you called me, and you want me to come out to your house because you want the work done. If it's just someone, kicking tires or doing investigations, they don't charge you. It's supposed to be a full-on, this is a job. These people are getting ready to have work done, and you're the only one that they're calling. And so see what happens. But the whole AI thing is that's why I'm trying to stay so ahead of that with the content for these guys, because people are just going to keep using AI, Alexa, Gemini. Gemini is really taking the lead.
Yeah, I like it now.
Yeah, instead of using Google, they're going to use an AI search engine. So that's why content. But at the same time, I wish everybody else was on here, because I'd ask the question and everybody would say 0. How much do you pay ChatGPT every month?
0.
How much do you pay Gemini every month?
0.
No one. I pay ChatGPT, I think $10 or $20 a month, because at one time I was using it a lot. I'm getting ready to cancel it because I use Gemini more. But there's a handful of people who pay for it because they really use it in their business. But the majority of people don't, and they're not going to. So the money's going to have to come from the ads, just like Google, it
Right.
has to come from the ads. So I'm trying to stay ahead of that and figure out how that is going to always work.
Hey, you may be about to lose me. I'm looking at my phone. It says 1%.
Uh-oh. Yeah. I got to go in there and cook some bacon.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, man. I'm going to get out of here. I'll bug you
All right,
later.
brother. Have a
All
good
right,
one.
Okay. Bye.